watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions.
Well, we did not expect to be back on a Friday, but there you go. We are the Scottish Football Zone and we react to the big news that's happening in Scottish football. And just within the last half an hour, Celtic have revealed their new manager. It is Martin O'Neill with a 1-year deal and with an option as well. So joined today, get your comments coming in. Joined today by Regan. Regan, what's your response to the big news?
First of all, Michael, we should probably give credit to the journalist. The journalist that broke the story is
Stephen McGinn.
Yeah, credit to Stephen because a massive story for him to break. But yes, a massive story for Scottish football in general and a massive story for Celtic because as much as I don't want to make it about it, Michael, I don't know if the last 24 hours has swayed them at Desmond.
Yeah, because everybody saw the banner, like say Celtic Park, and I don't know about you because you're a Celtic fan, Regan. I thought they were kind of like obviously the Green Brigade's known to be a kind of big voice in Celtic as well, but I thought I was quite bad that they done that as well. Obviously, like I know that you spoke last night about they should leave like politics outside football.
Yeah, I just Michael, I've got no nothing against Robbie Keane. So this narrative that all Celtic fans should have something against Robbie Keane. Michael, I've said to you many times, right? Everybody's open for free speech here, but Robbie Keane's a football manager. It's nothing to do with politics here. So, and I'm only interested in football. I'm not interested if Celtic fans are what side they're on with the different situations around the world, Michael. People are entitled to be that way, but I just focus on the football, mate.
Yeah, that's a good point because obviously there's a bit of a divide with the Celtic fans. Obviously, if Robbie Keane was coming as well, but if he did come, I think like you should leave the politics aside and just support your team. But likes of like St Mirren appointed Craig McLeish today as a new manager. Now I know that some St Mirren fans and Robbie is not too happy with the appointment, but you've just got to back the manager.
Michael, the problem is that people think they've got a big voice if they associate with the Green Brigade. The problem is the Green Brigade have been allowed to have a big voice, and they shouldn't have. I'm not a big fan of Robbie Keane as a manager, but the fact that people are putting banners outside Celtic Park to me is just went a bit too far. Because if Robbie Keane, right, let me put it this way, if Robbie Keane if he didn't manage in Israel, he would be a very good candidate for Celtic. So why should that? So why should politics change that for me?
Yeah, no, it was the same way kind of a few years ago when Celtic had Neil Beaton in the team and what as a guy as well. And it was just when like the war kind of started and the Green Brigade let the voices heard, but I don't think that should be allowed in football and stuff like that. But so let's speak about Martin O'Neill's appointment then, Regan. A lot was made by certain parts of the media and certain pundits as well, not us, but certain pundits saying that why is a kind of kind of like man over 70 managing Celtic. But I mean, you just have to look at like Roy Hodgson, when he was at Paris and all that, and I think he's older than Martin O'Neill, or maybe the same age. But I don't remember people coming out and say that he shouldn't be the manager because he's kind of like older, and I don't want to say over the hill because that's a bit unfair, but I mean, age shouldn't matter in football.
No, I mean, hopefully I'll be saying this when I'm older, Michael, but age is only a number. Yeah,
Mm.
and the thing is with Martin O'Neill, I mean, the job that Wolf and Nancy done at the start of last season was a disgrace, to be honest with you. The players just look as if they just kind of not bothering it. And to be honest, Michael, that should be on the players too. But fair play to Martin O'Neill, he actually turned Celtic around there. But I think the big question now is, Michael, is that the Celtic board need to now back the manager because they failed to back Brendan Rodgers twice, and they cannot let Martin O'Neill down because Martin
No.
O'Neill. I'm not being funny, Michael, but Martin O'Neill won't accept a Adamu, a Chavanchara who are not able to score goals. He won't accept it.
Well, I think we got a bit of a hint after the cup final, maybe before the cup final, that Martin O'Neill wanted to stay, but he really never came out and said it. But the way that he framed the answers, you could actually take away that he wanted to stay.
I think he did want to see Michael, but I think for Dermot Desmond, I think the ideal appointment for Dermot Desmond was Robbie Keane, to be honest with you. Like I say, I think today, I think we'd be seeing Robbie Keane being the manager. But I think, especially after last night, I think maybe changed the Celtic board's mind.
Yeah, and I think as well that there's two conversations going on here, Reagan, and I think we should address them as well. That Martin O'Neill, whether you want to come or not, you've still got to back him. Age doesn't really matter. But I mean, what is the Celtic got to what Celtic got to do about the Greenberg egg now?
They need to show them that they can't just rule the roost. They can't just put banners out and then all of a sudden Robbie Keane's not the manager. But I'm glad that that obviously that Martin O'Neill's going to be the manager because he was the better candidate from Robbie Keane and Martin O'Neill, obviously. But I just think it's the way that the world is right now.
When Martin O'Neill come back in the way that Celtic won the league and the double as well, I just feel as though that it gave Martin O'Neill some a bit of boost, maybe a bit of heart attack material as well to get back in the dugout. But I think because he won the double, it makes him more determined now, rather than if he won the Scottish Cup. I think he wouldn't be here, so that he wouldn't be in the dugout this coming this coming season. But because the manner that they won the league, and also as well, but I think that will give Celtic a boost going into next season. But I just say that it's up to, the board has appointed Martin O'Neill. They need to back it up and give him some players.
Yeah, the old train I used to use, Michael, when I was playing bocce before, was that a man's only as good as his tools, and that's true because if you give Martin O'Neill substandard players, there's going to be a substandard season. But if you can say to him, right, who do you want? What places in the park do you want them? And are we able to afford it? Yes, we are. Because Celtic are minted, Michael. Celtic have got more money than you. I know it's hard to believe sometimes, Michael, but Celtic's got a lot of money.
Surely not, Reagan. That's a big exclusive for the show. Celtic get more money than me, as well. But no. So how do you think that the Celtic fans would react to the news, and also like the players as well?
I think the players first of all will be absolutely overjoyed because what Martin O'Neill done for the players last year, I think it'll just be a sort of they can carry on now. They can enjoy themselves. They can see what they can do.
I think as well that Gus. I
I
think
think in terms of I think in terms of the fans, it's like I was saying earlier, probably a little bit of relief as well that it's not Robbie Keane, as bad as it is to say, because a lot of fans, not me or anyone else included, but a lot of fans were not wanting Robbie Keane.
and imagine if he did come. Imagine what the reaction would be then, Reagan.
Yeah, um, I know a lot of people, Michael. You'll know this, being in the media a long time, but a lot of people do say that publicity is good, is great. And, uh, uh, um, sorry, Michael, any publicity is good publicity, and that's something that people have said for many years. But I think in this case, I don't think it would be for Celtic because then you've got the fight between the board and the Green Brigade straight away when Martin O'Neill sort of repaired that damage, you would say, because when Martin O'Neill came in, there was kind of fans shouting at the board, there was singing songs, there was banners about the board. So Martin O'Neill came in and repaired that. I know he did make a jibe in the Scottish Cup final when he said, I wanted to try and find the guy that threw the tennis balls onto the pitch against Stuttgart. But I think if you're Martin O'Neill, then you're actually happy with the way things have transpired, Michael.
Yeah, Martin O'Neill. He's had to put away a lot since he's coming for the second time, but also he was at that AGM, and just listening to the media conference after the AGM. I think he was in a bit of a shock. I think everybody was in a bit of a shock when they saw that kind of AGM. But it just goes to show you that how Martin O'Neill kind of loves the club and the fans kind of love him.
Aye, because I don't think any other manager, comes back that many times. But fair play to Martin O'Neill because he's obviously he trusts him and Desmond, and obviously he knows that he's a very good football coach. And fair play to, I think it was Daily Record the other day, Michael, and they said, see, as much as Dermot Desmond is not very good at recruiting players, well, one thing he's very good at is recruiting a very good manager. Because you look at over the years, Celtic have had Martin O'Neill, and then they've had Brendan Rodgers, then they've had Ange Postecoglou. So if you look at Desmond over his time, he's not very good at scouting players, you would say, but you would got to say that he's very good at appointing managers.
Yeah, no. I just come back to your comment you made a minute ago off to Reagan about that the players would be happy jumping for joy and all the rest of it. I don't know if you saw the adverts on the Sarro gave to STV Sport the other night, and he was saying that if Martin O'Neill was here in pre-season, the first year of pre-season, he will give him a big massive hug. But if Martin O'Neill wasn't a manager, it would be it wouldn't be so disappointed. He would be working with the new manager. So it just goes to show you how the players has got on with Martin O'Neill twice.
Michael, I think you're spot on there because Martin O'Neill has done absolutely fantastic, and he's got a real bond with these players now. He's got a real bond with McGregor. He's got a big bond with Yang and Trusty, and people like that. So I think the players will be so happy and they'll be hoping themselves because I've never been a football Michael, you probably know, right? But it must be good getting new players in and actually moving on forward every year. So that's what I'm sure that's what the players will be looking forward to, and I'm sure that's what Martin O'Neill will be looking forward to as well.
And I think as well that Martin O'Neill came in twice as well and say Celtic and winning the double. I mean, as I said to you early on in the show, Reagan, like, if you ask any Celtic fans like you or Ethan or even Tino that Celtic were going to win the league in December, okay, you might believe it, but deep down you're thinking, well, you know, it's going to be an uphill struggle. But I mean, imagine Martin O'Neill with kind of like a full pre-season.
I think in terms of what Martin O'Neill's done, I think he'll be happy with a full pre-season, Michael. I don't know if you agree, but I, I think you could even be looking at people like Iheanacho and Chamberlain staying on for one more year because as much as they're not going to be playing every single minute, but Celtic's got a long season. If Celtic get through one qualifier, they could win the Champions League again. So they'll need a big squad.
And don't forget that Oxley and Martin O'Neill block kind of like Oxley Chamberlain to Celtic as well.
I think obviously Chamberlain's done very well. I seen a radio interview the other day from one of the channels where he's actually Perry Edwards from Little Mix is enjoying himself here as well. So I think Chamberlain has done very well. Obviously scored two very important goals against Livingston to make it 2-1 in the very last minute. And it just shows how important the 3 points were. I mean, going out and that goal that he scored as well. So, no, fair play him.
Yeah, no, I saw that. So I think in attack players like that to Celtic, like Oxley Chamberlain, maybe at the end of his career, okay, never had a big part to play, but you remember the goal he scored against, I can't remember the team he scored, but it was against Celtic Park. It was at Celtic Park and it was a cracker. So you're thinking like if he attracts players like that, who else can they attract to Celtic, especially with the Champions League coming up?
I think that's a good point you made because if Celtic can get some good players in, they can be in Champions League. And you know the way that Desmond does business as well. If he gets in the Champions League, he spends more money as well. I think that was a big frustration of Brendan Rodgers, Michael. But what was Celtic never spent a penny last summer. And if you want to be serious, you need to spend money. You can't just sit back and expect it to happen. Because Celtic fans spend money on season tickets, they spend money on merchandise. I know the Celtic fans have had a slogan over the past 6 months about don't spend one more penny, but they'll be hoping Celtic fans will be hoping that Dermot Desmond can spend a penny.
That's a good point that you make that, Reagan, right? Because obviously we were talking about on the show last season, Celtic won the double, but you've got to remember, Celtic won the double, a very, very poor side. I'm sure you would agree. But that was a side that they never bought any players, and they still won the double. And I'm sure I've heard a lot of people saying, and you're saying as well, that like if Martin O'Neill stayed, you know, we couldn't be on here because Martin O'Neill would get the job ages ago because he won the treble.
I think Martin O'Neill showed the Celtic board that they need to actually recruit better because you look at Wolverine Nancy, and no disrespect to Robbie if he's watching, right? But I think if it's Martin O'Neill that's in that final, I think Celtic win it.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think as well that, yeah, I mean, So, yeah, taking everything out of this, Reagan, like the kind of politics with the Greenberg egg, the board and the fort and all that. Martin O'Neill did a brilliant job, you know. I think I think from me, I think the difference was between Martin O'Neill and Wilfred Nancy. Okay, you had to give Nancy a chance and all that, but I think the biggest difference for me was Martin O'Neill came in, he kept it simple, you know, whereas Wilfred Nancy changed a lot of things in the first game that he was in.
I will think Nancy changed far too much, Michael, but that actually then resulted in Wilfred Nancy being probably one of the worst Celtic managers that's ever likely to be. But yeah, fair play to Martin O'Neill because he rescued a sinking ship, to be honest, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's and then obviously, I don't think you'll care about this, Reagan, as well, but we were having the laugh and the joke about on the show about Derek McInnes getting the manager of the year. Yeah, Martin O'Neill came in twice, won the double. We kind of like a very poor Celtic team. I might be a bit unfair in saying that, but you know, and they still never won the manager of the year. But I think like if you ask Martin O'Neill deep down about that, he would be a bit disappointed. But I think the answer that he would be giving us if he was on the show now is like the it's like to win the double.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be saying make mine a double because what Martin O'Neill actually done was beat a juggernaut in Hearts who were doing what Aberdeen had done in the 1980s. So Martin O'Neill was up against a tough challenge. I mean, Hearts were done brilliant last year. I think if Wilfred Nancy had stayed for one more week, I think Hearts could be winning the league. Because I think Michael Nicholson should have been personally sacked for that, Michael. Because see if you
Mm.
employ someone and you're still at the club, then there's got to be some kind of credibility. But also, people tell me that Dermot Desmond he's run the roost at Celtic, but surely he didn't appoint this guy, you know, because I think anybody could see straight on. Okay, I mean, no disrespect to Wolverine Nancy, but this is a guy that managed in the MLS. The MLS is totally different um, from football in the UK and football in Europe.
Yeah, yeah, and the style is kind of like totally different as well. You know, uh, so you know, but obviously, Celtic has gone the early. I think they had to do that very early as well to appoint a manager. Now it's to sign potential players, and Reagan. Going back to the point I made on the season, I think when we came on the show, and who was it? Young singer New Deal, Scale singer New Deal, and everybody was saying, well, Martin might because if he's not, who's signing these kind of players? And also what you were saying earlier on about Wilfred Nancy coming in, the man that actually appointed Paul Tiskill must get whoever that was, and I don't think we'll ever find out that he must get the sack as well.
Yeah, I mean to appoint a guy that says himself football doctor, then there's got to be something wrong there, Michael. But yeah, Paul Tisdale didn't work out too well. But I think from a Celtic point of view, Celtic just need to back their manager now. They just need to back him, show him that if you get proper players in, that a Celtic team can be all in one. The fans can be um, very happy, and also the players. So, yeah, I think it's a great appointment for Celtic because it's a massive move. And I think now, if you are looking at, if you are, say, Hearts or your Rangers, I think you'd have preferred if Robbie Keane was the Celtic manager. So, I don't think Danny Rowe or Derek McInnes will be too happy that it's Martin O'Neill again.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, because Martin O'Neill's had lots and lots of experience over the years. Don't forget that he managed the national team as well of Ireland, and he's been about the game for a long time, Reagan, as well. But I think that Derek McInnes and Danny Rowe and possibly the rest of the league was hoping for another Wilfried Nancy to come in to manage Celtic. But because Martin O'Neill's at the helm now, they're having a bit of a nightmare. And that's before pre-season begins and the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think Martin O'Neill is the ideal person for Celtic right now because there's so much to do, Michael. So much to do in pre-season, so much to do in the transfer market, and also if you look at Celtic as well, Michael. Celtic have got a lot of repairing to do with the fans as well. So Celtic need to get they need to get everybody at the club to be all as one, Michael. And that's the most important thing. But I think it's massive news for Celtic and massive news for Scottish football.
I'm just looking to see if Sean Maloney will remain at Celtic Park as well, but I would imagine he would, Reagan, I would imagine that he would take up his other role as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said on TikTok the other day. If you don't follow me, please follow me because my TikTok's brilliant, isn't it, Michael? No, but I think
Yes.
I think Sean Maloney, and you know I've paid Michael to say that, but I think Sean Maloney would be wasted if he's in the boardroom, Michael. Sean Maloney's he's a good number two. I wouldn't say he's a good manager. I don't think he's got that authority where he could hold a room. But what I think with Sean Maloney is, he's very good at what he does. He's very good coaching players.
Yeah, no, I know, and again, Sean Maloney's a kind of guy that he was assistant at Belgium with Benitez as well, so he's actually went for a young guy, the opposite of Martin O'Neill. For a young guy, he's actually been about the leagues as well. Obviously with Hibs, and we won't talk about the as managing appointment at Hibs, but he's been about at the highest level in international football, and I think that will stand him in good stead.
Well, definitely. I mean, who are you talking about? Michael Martin O'Neill?
Sean Maloney.
Sean Maloney. Sean Maloney. I think if Sean Maloney, after he does 1 or 2 years with Martin O'Neill, I think you could see Sean Maloney doing a kind of John Kennedy role, Michael, where he's always going to be there. He's always going to be the sort of number two coach. You know?
Yeah, no, yeah, and I think with that, the same coaching team, Reagan, I think they will be, when we talk about a new manager coming in, about a transition period, well, there won't be any transition period this season at Parkhead because the coaching staff will be the same. Maybe when the players might be a bit more kind of like different in terms of who Celtic will buy as well, but because as we saw in the past, Reagan, that when a new manager comes in, it takes them time to bed in their kind of ideas. But you know, I'm sure Martin O'Neill and Sean Mulroney and Mac following him and Steve McManus and all that would have tried to get over the ideas in a short space of time.
Aye, because I think the coaching teams actually worked out very well. You look at Fordringham, who's got a lot of coaching experience in Germany, Michael. You look at obviously Strachan, who's actually done pretty well, and you look at Stephen McManus. So Celtic's got a lot of good coaches there, Michael, and hopefully as you say there, the backroom team can stay the same for next season. There's still no development on that, Michael. I'll check for you right now, but I don't think there's any development on the backroom team, no.
Yeah, I'm looking about and nothing comes to pass. But like but I'm sure the Celtic fans will just speak alike about that news about Martin O'Neill, because everybody was kind of like saying that was going to be his final game in the Scottish Cup, and obviously they won that one, and they won it in convincing fashion. I thought Celtic played well, but in terms of like looking back at last season, well, 2 weeks ago actually, because that's when the season finished. But I think you can only pick out a handful of games that Celtic played well in, and like obviously Dundee United game at Parkhead when Martin and they'll come back from the second spell. Obviously, Falkirk at Rangers at home as well. You know, but listen, it's a clean slate now, and Celtic will gives me to look forward to the new season, and Celtic fans will be wishing the World Cup would get finished already, and so that Celtic will get some players in.
Yeah, definitely, Michael. I think the most important thing for Celtic now is, like I said earlier, is to back Martin O'Neill, show the support that Celtic have got proper ambition, and show them that they can actually go forward and try and make a stamp in Europe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing to think that Reagan that you know Celtic won the double. And I'm gonna say, and I've probably said this
Oh,
far too
Michael,
often.
I just want to
Yeah,
cut in there. The Sun Sport are saying negotiation clap with Robbie Keane after backlash from Celtic club supporters.
say that again. Sorry.
This Scottish Sun's Robert Grieve is saying negotiations clap with Robbie Keane after backlash from Celtic supporters.
Yeah. So you were right there as well, but um, you know, I don't want to say right the Green Big kind of won that point, if you know what I mean. But I mean, if it comes down to that, that's sweet sad to think that, you know, because people say that there's nobody bigger than the football
Robert
club.
Grieve said Robert Grieve is going to reveal as well, Michael, that it's understood that the backroom team will remain the same, with Sean Maloney, Mark Fordingham, and Gavin Strachan all said to be part of the new backroom team.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a fair. I think that's fair, and also as well that it's the transition period. There's not going to be a transition period now because Martin O'Neill and Sean Maroney has been there, seen it, done it, won a. I was going to say won a t-shirt, but they also won 2 cups as well. So. You know, it's now looking forward to the new season, Reagan.
Yeah, I mean, Scottish football never sleeps. It's the same as Michael. Football never sleeps because I think what Celtic have done very well, Michael, is Celtic are always top of the news of the agenda because if Celtic have, like always, Michael, if Celtic have got a story that it's always breaking news. I mean, but we're always on here if there's a breaking story about Celtic, Rangers, Hearts. So I think it's going to be great for us next season as well, especially. And we've got Scotland in the World Cup as well, so please join us.
Yeah, no, that's a good week. That's a good segue, Reagan, into the show. Next Monday night, a week on Monday night. What am I saying? A week on Monday night. It's a Monday night coming. At 7 o'clock. Join us live. Please like and subscribe to the Scottish Football Zone channel. There we go. If you haven't already, we will be
You
here
haven't
for.
already. If you haven't already, Michael, what are they doing out there? I'm missing the best Scottish football place to be.
Yeah, I mean, we are the only show out there bigging up Scottish football, and we're bigging up going to the World, even though we're not going to the World Cup, but we'll be here Monday night, 7 o'clock, and also we've got a busy show coming up on Monday night because on the
I
show,
forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me.
On the show, we've got Matt Donaldson from ESPN Sport, so he'll
aye.
be here. And then we've got a band, believe it or not, their name is called the Johnnies, and they've revealed a song for Scotland going to the World Cup. And then
Oh.
we will speak to Ian Emerson from the famous Cat Army magazine. So get subscribing, please. The Scottish Football Zone, and we'll be here every step of the way during the World Cup. And breaking news, as Regan said, that's why we came on, because we found out about, maybe about an hour and a half ago, about Martin O'Neill will be the permanent manager at Celtic. And if you've just come in, just come on, no, we're not making it up. It's a true story. Martin O'Neill is the new manager. He signed a one-year deal, Reagan.
Yes, he has, Michael, and it's going to be amazing to watch Scottish football this season. Yep.
And we'll be here every kick of the ball. As I say, we kind of like big interviews and covering the big games and also Scotland as well. So, yeah, so one more time, get subscribing to the Scottish Football Zone. There we go. That's the channel there. Tell your pals, tell your family, tell whoever. And this is the only channel that we big Scottish football up and talk about the games as well. Okay, so quite Friday afternoon. I'm not so sure about that. Big news coming out of Celtic Park today is Martin O'Neill is the Celtic manager. He has signed a 1-year deal for Celtic, and I'm sure the Celtic fans will be delighted, and Reagan will be delighted at that as well. Don't forget, we'll be back on Monday night for the World Cup preview show at 7 o'clock. So once again, Martin O'Neill is the new manager at Celtic, signing a 1-year deal. My thanks to Reagan. Thanks for all your comments, and we'll do it all again on Monday at 7 o'clock.
You're watching the Scottish Football Zone with all the build-up and reactions.